Hey, good morning, everybody. Yes, we are going to talk about the SPY today. Thank you for joining me. First and foremost, if you like what I'm doing, please give a thumbs up. Alerts have been pretty much on fire yesterday. Let's talk about my main position yesterday, which was SPY puts. So let me just get over to the chart so we can all follow along. SPY puts, we'll go to like a 3-minute chart so we can look at yesterday. Saw a spike. We saw, what did we see? Did you do spike right here? Dip, dip, dip. Once we broke 481 cents right around here. And I said we were fluctuating. There was no doubt puts were the play. So puts are the play for me right about here at 402.60 flat. Wrote it down, got nervous 2 or 3 times right in here. But again, once we broke under that 481, which is that huge dark pool level on the SPY, I knew we were dropping. The problem, I sold my position right on this green spike because I was looking at the 1 and the 3-minute chart and I was like, damn it. I got paid $2.44. My first entry was $1.97. So $1.97. I averaged up to $2.44. I got $381 per contract. And I said, at worst case, I'm looking for $400 per contract. Medium case, I'm definitely looking for 508. 508, I would exit out today. And if I made it to $6, I'd be in heaven. So what happened? After I sold, yep, you got $5.08, maybe even a little more right around here. There was a bit of a rebound. So that's crazy. As we lead into today, what do I think is going to go on in the market? I don't know. I saw this strong buying sentiment right at the end of the day. Volume picked up. I understand why volume was so negative yesterday. And I mentioned a key zone would be 400 on the SPY. But again, I'm going to give you my 2 scenarios just to start off today, okay? Your bull case scenario, we can talk about the dark pool levels on the SPY, and I'll actually bring that up so I can use that as a reference because I don't want to guess estimate for you. But we've got a dark pool level right at 395.93, pretty significant. So 396. So my bull case scenario is downside. Yeah, we're going to touch the 396, but I just said bull case scenario where I think the market's going higher. Yeah, the low point is going to be 396 plus or minus 20 or 30 cents. You could be 395.70, something to that extent. The high end of the spectrum, yes, I believe it's going to be 401.50 or something like that, which would imply what, a 6-point range. Yesterday we moved by 7 points, day before 5.5. So you understand the range trade. A narrow day would be like 2 to 3 points on the SPY, not much price action. But I do believe we'll see price action. Why? Understand there's big money out there. There are certain funds that must be bullish on the market at all times. So you guys say, oh, the market is selling off, selling off, selling off. Yes, but somebody has to be on the bottom side buying, 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 or else you'd see like a significant like 5% drop, 10% drop. It doesn't happen like that. There's no World War III breaking out. What happened is the Fed basically said, hey, we're still going to be as aggressive as needed. So here's what happened. Let's talk about a week ago. The chance of a 50 basis point increase for March was around 16%. Then it moved up to 30%, then 50%. And as of this morning, it's 76%. Yeah. So I've been saying it all along, 50 basis points in March, the market will react bearish. What else did I key on yesterday? The US dollar. The US dollar was trading at 105.32. And I said to everybody, if the US dollar spikes and we see over 105.51, that shit is going to get bloody. What do we see? We saw a spike all the way to 105.60. So, I mean, I would also look at the US dollar. Again, I looked before I went live. I won't look right this second, but I will look before the end of this live stream. But the US dollar had come down and looks like it wants to settle in that range. Now, again, I went bullish towards the end of close yesterday because I thought the US dollar would contract all the way down to the 105.40 level, losing about 30 cents. So that hasn't happened yet. But if it does, it gives the market reason to be somewhat bullish. Okay, so again, bull case scenario, we go to 396 and we explode to 401, 401.20, something to that extent. Again, a 6-point range. Your bear case scenario is the level at 398.37. So let's just say plus or minus 20 cents again. So 398.50, which would put us green at some point today. Let's even say 398.80 or something like that. That will reject, and then we're going down. So if we go down, you're going to look at the next level down, which is 393.49. So again, bear case, 393.49 on the SPY. with the top level being, let's even say 389. So 389 to, I'm sorry, 398. I inverse my numbers. 398, right, to 393.47, 49. That's your bear case scenario. Bull case scenarios, we find support right at the 396 level, plus or minus 20 cents. So if you want to be bullish and you're looking for a reversal, like I am, that's kind of the play I'm looking for. Again, I was kind of thinking we could see a gap up overnight because the selling off was so strong. But the Hang Seng, the Chinese market, got ripped to shreds last night. So, of course, that plays an impact on our markets. And then you go psychologically. We just heard this news yesterday from Fed Speaker Powell, and the markets didn't like it and depreciated and went down and finished at its lowest point yesterday. So you'd say, shit, market kind of finished at its lowest point yesterday. Psychologically, it tells me there's more downside. And understand, puts versus calls. I always talk about what's out there, what's expiring today, what's expiring at the end of the week, what's expiring at the end of the month. So if you look at puts versus calls, again, on the daily, we usually are call heavily weighted and puts at the end of the week and puts at the end of the month, but not anymore. Right now, calls outnumber puts on the daily. Calls are still, puts outnumber calls on the daily. Puts still outweigh calls on the weekly and the monthly. Okay, so SPY levels, again, 481 key level. I think we're getting there today at some point. I'm pretty sure it will reject just because the market's not going to flip its switch all of a sudden. But follow the US dollar 2-year, 10-year go down, gives the market to run up to $400.81 on the SPY. US dollar spikes higher. Shit, we see 106, something I wasn't expecting, but we already broke the barrier at 105.51. So let's just say the markets, we see 106. Well, fuck, I'm going to get out of all my call bullish positions because I know that we're going to test that 393 level if I see 106 on the dollar. So that's what I'm going to pay attention to as well. What else did I want to bring up today? Let's just keep going. Some good stories. All right, first off, our watch list. If you want to be part of our Discord, you look below. I go on a couple times during the day and I shoot videos and I give you updates on the market. And yesterday, I told everybody when we crossed over that 400 level, even though we bounced up to 401.30, I said, do not fear because we're going down more. Why? Because we couldn't break that level. And the fact that we were sitting at 400 for so long. And what happened is demand is only so good. There was a strong demand level right at 481 cents. But once they run out of buying power, what happens? The market drops. So the next demand level is right in the 398.37 level. The fact that we closed right around there yesterday tells me that could turn into support. So everybody that's looking for the market to drop. Now, if the market actually goes up, who gets screwed? Option players, those playing all those $1 million of SPY puts. The market shows support and then goes higher. Who's getting screwed? All the option, all the risky players. What might happen later in the week? The market could drop later in the week. But understand, the institutions, the hedge funds, big money, they're not here to help you. I'm here to help you. What are they here to do? They're here to steal your money. So you're thinking it's going puts, you're buying puts, they're collecting premiums, they're taking your premiums, putting it in their pocket. So that's how that works. By the way, if you have any questions, please ask on the side. You can ask about stocks. I'm going to talk about certain stocks coming up. Let's talk about Marathon Digital because that is the public play of the day. Calls above 612, puts below 601. So how do you use that? You use the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 5 minute. You can even use the 15 minute. You want to make sure that it's staying above the level if you want to buy calls, 612. So you're seeing it at 612, 614, 611, 615. You're like, okay, it's staying above, time for calls. It breaks below and can't go over that 602 level, then you're going to get into puts under 601. But there's a public watch list every day. Again, I gave my prediction, 401 on the high side, 396 on the low side. And if it's a bearish day, we go 393.80 and 399 at the top side. So again, both scenarios, that's me. Again, rejection, yeah, I mean, it's the same levels. Other people are saying the same levels. Now, here's the interesting thing. 3 billion was reported on the SPY and the dark pool level at 404.43. No shit, that's why we dropped. There was an extra 1.4 billion reported at 398.25. We closed 2 cents above that, 398.25. So 1.4 billion. Was that 1.4 billion support and buying or selling? Yes, there are two sides of every equation, a buyer and a seller. But it's interesting to see. Again, hawkish Powell puts 50 basis points on the table. It hasn't been off the table. It was just at 30%. Now it's up to 76%. Interesting. PayPal CFO resigns. I don't really follow PayPal, so I don't have any comments there. But the 2-year interest rate exceeded 5%. In fact, it went to 5.05%. And the inversion is crazy between the 2-year and 10-year. Usually, you hold on to something longer, you get a better return. So the 10-year would be higher. When the 2-year is higher than the 10-year, right? People are saying, well, I don't need to be in the stock market. If I can get a 5.5 or 5.05% return. So, but I was looking yesterday. This is just something I do on the side. I'm looking at the supply and demand zones, and now I'm coming up with my ranges for today. So I've got to use that. It shows the price of the SPY where it is now. It shows the demands, the volume size. So again, that helps me pick it out. The net flow for all of you guys that aren't on our Discord, you can check out the net flow. Red line is put premiums. Green line is call premiums. White line is actual stock price. And then you can check out the algorithms as well for the market. So there are a lot of things I use on a daily basis. I've got some stocks I'm going to talk about really quick. Let me just see if I have anything else. That was all yesterday's SPY. That was my update from yesterday. Okay, so no, we're not going to do anything else. Okay, yeah, Carlos sent me something funny. So let's go into individual stocks. I will get to your question. I do see the question about coin and ACAD, but I want to talk about some individual stocks that I'm going to use today to help me process the market. Because you already heard me say that for some reason, Matt's bullish. Now, what was funny is the last time I did that and say for some reason Matt was bearish, markets dropped. Then I called a reversal. I'm pretty good about calling reversals, except sometimes I am early. So yesterday, being a couple hours early, let's just say 2 or 2.5 hours early, I cost myself on the upside. I left another 50% on the table. My account made over 57% yesterday. My account would have been up 107% yesterday if I had just held a little longer, another hour. Instead, I took some bullish positions. Okay, so here we go. First thing I'm looking for is Boeing. Why? Because Boeing contributes 7% to the Dow's movement. So if Boeing is positive, you take whatever points Boeing is positive by, let's just say it's 2 points. You multiply it by like 7.14 or something like that, and that contributes 14 points to the Dow's upside. Likewise, if Boeing is negative 5 points and it's a terrible day, yesterday Boeing was negative 4 points. You multiply that by 7, 28 points. That's what contributes to 28 points in the Dow. So if Boeing goes from minus 4 points to even, all of a sudden the Dow jumps 28 points. Well, we've seen the Dow move, 100 points, 200 points. So understand, Boeing's a large component, so it's on my watch list. What do I like to do? At 10 a.m., I like to see if there's inflow or outflow in Boeing. If there's inflow in Boeing, I say to myself, it's going to be at a higher point later today. If it is, the market is going to stay, have support, stay stronger. All right, next, I've got the SPY here. We've seen some crazy movements in the SPY pre-market. I brought it up. I mean, we could check it out. Unfortunately, you don't see the pre-market moves, but we saw the SPY go from, what is it now? Plus 0.12%. 398.74. Shit, we saw it drop to 397.60, and this is all pre-market after it went to 399. So the SPY went to 399 overnight, dropped to 398, up to 399, down to 397. These are pretty substantial moves for a pre-market, but the SPY is obviously on my watch list. Then I've got Amazon. Why? Because I bought Amazon calls yesterday. Amazon was showing crazy support, but at the end of the day, when the market threw up on itself, right? Everything's got to drop. Everything's got to drop more. So I'm like, oh, fuck, how stupid am I? Oh, great lesson. As I was buying Amazon and having a wonderful day, I mentioned to Discord, I'm going to pay $1.61 for this contract. However, using my 10% rule, my real bid should be 145. I'm having a bit of FOMO. So my first entry should have been 145. My second entry was 125. I got in at 117. I think it closed right probably around 117. It probably didn't move very far. 116. So it's not like I'm bragging about being profitable in that position yet. And yes, Amazon's up 0.47% pre-market. I saw support for Amazon yesterday. So that was crazy, but the market kept throwing up. So as long as the market doesn't throw up on itself, which it did yesterday, maybe we get that bounce, which I was looking for. I'm expecting Amazon to give me a decent move, make me some profit. What else am I expecting? I looked at Rivian. Rivian did this offering, 1.3 billion. They didn't price in the offering yet at what it was going to be per share. And Rivian dropped. And then I saw crazy support at $15. Crazy support. So I said, let me get into some calls. So I got into some Rivian calls. Then all of a sudden, like an hour later, Rivian had this crazy support at 15. It dropped through. As it dropped, it went to 1492, where I learned in Discord. I said, hey, it just broke its support. It had crazy support. It's okay to get out I decided to ride my position because I'm like, when we see selling like that, and there were 3 million shares over and over and over, and that stock usually does 30 million on the day and did over 108 million. So it was pretty significant, but I'm hoping all that shit is out and we can ride that higher because, yeah, I held on to it longer. I've got NVIDIA and Tesla. Why? Most bearish option flows yesterday, NVIDIA and Tesla. Funny thing is, I think chips can still run a little higher. I think AMD, NVIDIA, Micron, STX, I think they all have the ability to run a little higher. I have Tesla. Why? Because Rivian's on my watch list. If Tesla drops 5%, I know Rivian's going down. Same with Lucid and same with Carvana. I don't know. They all just range together. If one of them's up, Tesla's having a great day, up 8%. You'll look at Rivian and Lucid and Carvana and some of these other, yes, Carvana sells used cars. I get it. But they all move. So these certain stocks carry the market. Then I've got CrowdStrike. Why? Because CrowdStrike came out with earnings and they actually did a pretty good job. And they were up 5%. They were up as high as 7%. Then they were up as low as 3%, up 5%. So that's kind of my teetering point. If I see CrowdStrike up 10%, I know it's a bullish day in the market. If I see CrowdStrike fading the same way Snap faded yesterday, oh, yeah, let's talk about my Snap play. Everything about Snap was bullish. Snap opened up yesterday at $12 and like $12.24, $12.30, $12.60. At $12.50, I'm buying more Snap puts because I said Snap could go down to $11.81 where it might find support. Shit, it dropped to $11.69. Of course I sold too early. Of course, but I made profit. I made profit, and making profit is pretty good. So yeah, got Boyle. Don't really want to talk about that. Snap again, man. If Snap drops even lower, I'm going to be so disappointed because I could have held on to my puts, which expired today for the SPY. Could have held on to my puts. So I'm hoping the market turns around. With that said, okay, let's go on. We've got Apple. Why is Apple important? Shit, Apple controls, again, it's the largest position in the NASDAQ. It's the largest position in the Dow. Apple had some major support. It had some support pre-market. It dropped when the market dropped. It showed more support in buying. I'm going to the monthly chart now. It finally had an outflow day yesterday, but every stock had an outflow day yesterday. So if they continue and they want to buy Apple, which they did, 6, 8, 11, 12 out of the last 17 days, trading days, they've been buying Apple. If that continues, shit, you've got Apple, Boeing. These are things that are going to support the market. So these are on my watch list. And again, I go to the top of my watch list and I go to the US dollar and I say, okay, it's up 0.05. It's up a nickel this morning. But you can see the chart. The chart since this morning looks kind of bearish. It's definitely a downward slope. Of course, if it spikes, I already mentioned, if you see the US dollar, which is DXY, spike to 106, shit, run for the hills because you want to get out of the market. Okay, then I've got other stocks. Yes, I'm following Meta. We got a new video dropping at 9 a.m. just for everybody here. It's a Romeo video, which are just so funny. He's so entertaining, and he's so right. He's always making points. Okay, then I've got DraftKings. Why? Because I saw DraftKings have support. I tried to get in at $19 and like 16 cents yesterday. It bounced higher real quick. I have First Solar because they've been buying. First Solar has the craziest chart for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days straight. Even yesterday, First Solar managed to go up. So again, if the market's going to sell off, First Solar is going to have outflow. As long as First Solar has inflow, that's another reason I say to myself, okay, they're going to continue to buy. Now, if First Solar turns bearish, then I'm saying, okay, that's a big impact because for 5 straight days, even with the market uncertainty, they were buying that stock. So that's just a mental thing. Disney fell under 100. It's at $99. I'm looking to see if that bounces from $99. Again, Marathon Digital, Mara, I mentioned that was our public alert for today. Both puts and calls. We give you the entry, give you price target 1, price target 2, price target 3. Okay, so I've got AMC. Why? Because at $4, it was good. All the way up to like $7.45. At $7.45, it was bad. We're at $6 now. I'm not playing AMC. I've got Wish, Context Logic, because I'm a long-term stockholder in that. I've got Lucid and Carvana because I'm following those. Zim Shipping because I was a fan of Zim Shipping. What, at $21.50? Remember when it was $23 on my YouTube? Somebody said, I like Zim. Why are they selling off? And I said, hey, wait for $21.32. Wait for $21.50. Yesterday, $21.12 on the low side. Closed at $21.63. So yeah, that's the loading zone. 21.12, 21.32, 21.50. Now we're at 21.71 pre-market. Again, Zim's on my watch list. That's a stock only purchase. I've got SoFi and TDoc because those are more spec plays next to Upstart. So if I see SoFi, TDoc, Upstart going higher, then I know like the ARK is going up. If ARK is going up, Qs are going up. Qs are going up, market's going up. So again, those are on my list. PepsiCo, it's an institutional play. I've got AMD chip sector. I've got Carnival. I mentioned on the public chat that when Carnival pops, pre-market and when the market opens 5-6%, it tends to fade. Now, when it's up like 1%, yeah, it can go up 1.5, then 2, then 2.5. I don't have a play there. I only have a play when Carnival pops pre-market. Oh, it's up 10% because it fades. It generally fades to half of what it's up. All right, so let's see what we got this morning. Here we go. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Hey, thumbs up if you like what I do. And again, join me every morning at 8:30. Love your analysis, bro. Watch every day. Don't ever stop. I appreciate that. Those people that understand, and I talk very quickly. I understand. I'm trying to get out a lot of information to help you process the market. 3 billion reported at the SPY. How can we see that? You can look at the dark pool levels for the SPY. You can join our Discord. There's a guy on Twitter. I don't remember his name, but he talks about the dark pool levels. Maybe his name is Dark Pool. I don't know. And then Royal, you wanted to ask about some stocks. We look at the Flow and Coin and ACAD. I can look at it. I can't connect Discord, unfortunately, because I'm working from a different location right now. But I'll go on there. I'll talk about it. So let me get over to Discord. You guys would do the same things. I go to the Flow and Algos room, which is up right now. I'm just going to look at Coin, actually. So I'm going to look at the flow sum of Coin. Now, what is the flow sum? Well, we know sum means added up. So you're talking about the flow. So the flow sum means all the calls on one side, all the puts on one side. Oh, it didn't give me the flow sum. Fuck. I like the flow sum. Sometimes it has to compile the information during the day. So when you do it pre-market, it doesn't work. During the day, it works. 4 p.m. it works. But I look at the flow sum. So I say, okay, there's $3 million worth of call premiums on Coin. There's only $1 million worth of put premiums on Coin. Likely Coin goes higher. So I look at the net flow for Coin. Net flow for Coin. Boom. Also, the Bitcoin stocks, Coin, Mara, Riot, they tend to move better in the morning and sell off. Okay, so here you go. Here's your net flow. What do you see? The red lines at the top. Puts are extremely expensive. Calls are still under the dotted line, so they're still relatively cheap. And the price is obviously under the dotted line as well. And I mean, everything's going to look the same because yesterday, what were they doing? Selling every freaking day. Let's see what we got here. Hi, I mentioned I was going to get into Sam Adams. So what is that? Boston Beer calls yesterday, but the spread was too far apart. Is there a reason? Yes, because Samuel Adams is a 300 and let's just average. Let's say it's a $300 stock. $300 stocks, when the market moves 4%, something like that, those stocks can move like 7%. If a stock like that moves 7%, you're talking about a 21-point move. So if you're looking at the $300 puts and they're $8 and $10, or you're looking at the calls, they're going to be $8 and $10. They're going to have a range between the bid and the ask of $2 because the stock moves, and like 1% is a $3 move. So when you're talking about why was the spread, $2 apart, well, that's why, because a 1% move, and you have to look at volume. It's not like everybody and their brother are like, yo, I'm going to get into Boston Beer options this weekend. No, the only people selling Boston Beer options and buying Boston Beer options, Sam, are the institutions. The institutions that hold the shares. I'm holding 30,000 shares. I'm going to sell, 300 contracts, 300 call contracts, and they decide I want this price. So it's not like as the stock is moving up or down, the price, the options are really moving that in line with it. So what I like to do when I'm picking out an expensive stock like that, and Tesla used to be expensive, Amazon, I like to put in my bid pre-market. So I say, if we get that volatility when the market opens, then maybe I get a contract executed at the price I want. It's not about the stock's movement. It's getting it at the price I want. Yeah, I appreciate the work you put in. Yeah, I know you want to ask about the other stock. Let's check that out. Okay, thanks, man. Yeah, okay, so you want me to ask about ACAD. Since I did mention you guys should ask about stocks, let's give that stock a look. Let's do it. All right. ACAD. Oh, pharmaceutical company. Yeah, good luck there. Market cap 3 billion. So I guess it's a decent sized pharmaceutical company. I'm looking at the 1 month. So I mean, they had earnings. They pushed up. They were 19 or $18.80. They pushed all the way up to $21. There's been a kind of a sell off. So here's two ways to look at this chart. Okay. Obviously, you want to look at 10 a.m. If it's an outflow day, then you're probably going to make your way right back to the 1967. So again, if they're selling this stock today, 1967. If it's an inflow day, yeah, it could spike all the way up back past $21, which would be a 3 or 4% move higher. So again, it's like First Solar. If they're buying First Solar moved big time. If they were selling it, it's going to come down a bunch. So again, I'm just looking at the 1 month. Now, here's the interesting thing. Pre-market, there's absolutely light activity. Like almost nobody trades the stock pre-market. The bid is $16.49. The ask is $24. The stock's at $20 and change. So again, there's not enough activity there for me to suggest one way or the other. Again, I mentioned the US dollar. I mentioned my positions that I was in. I mentioned all the stocks I'm watching. I mentioned SPY levels. Bull case scenario, we drop first, 396. We spike to 401. There's your bull case scenario. Bear case scenario is we spike after market open. You see 399, 398, 80, something like that. We drop, we drop, we drop, we drop, we drop, we drop, we drop. That's your bear case. On the bottom side, 393. So again, bull case, 396 going all the way up to 401. Bear case, 399, drop to 393. Thanks for joining me. Would be is the Flow and Algo room in Discord public? I joined as a member, but I was wondering why so many of them were saying. Okay, no. So it's a paid service. If you don't want to hear me talk or be involved with the trader chat, you can just be in all of our channels that are institutionally traded, meaning flows and algos. I'll tell you exactly which channel. So you can get a package. I think it's like $25, which means you don't see me, unfortunately, or like Romeo's live streams. But you get all the algo and analytics, the flow and algos, the option sweeps, golden sweeps, trading flow, dark pools, bullseye, scalps, social interest trades, insider trades, stock breakout, news, crypto breakout, and analyst upgrades and downgrades. Yes, so that's like $25 a month. If you join the other platform for $35.99, you get Romeo's live trading like 2 or 3 times a week. He teaches lessons at night. I'm coming out with market updates throughout the day. It's almost like a play-by-play where I'm like, okay, here's the market. It's fluctuating here. What's it going to do next? Based on this information, it was going to drop. Like yesterday, the fact that it went to $400.81 and dropped below, and then it spiked to 401.30. I told people not to worry. So some people were probably chasing calls. But if you hear, don't worry, it's coming back down, you're buying puts here and getting the great entry instead of buying calls, riding it up, being green, and then all of a sudden turning bright red and your account's down 80%. So that's it. And then we got what? A new video dropping at 9 a.m. today. Again, a Romeo video. I'm heading over to Discord. I'm going to give you guys my pre-market morning video. We're going to speak about 2 specific stocks that I'm going to look into play today. One in a bullish position and one in a bearish position that could drop based on what's going to happen in the market. I'll talk about the support levels that I'll be focusing on. It'll be out in a couple of minutes. And again, Romeo's dropping a new video on YouTube. So please subscribe. Watch the video at 9. It's pretty funny, entertaining, and it's also educational. Thanks so much. Talk to you guys later. Have a great one, man.